Hello, I'm Brigitte Gabrielle. Since the massacre in Israel, I've had a lot of debates with people who say Israel is making this up. There was no killing of pregnant women, rape, burning people, or chopping people up. It's all AI generated. So today I want to talk about another massacre perpetrated by Palestinian terrorists in Damour, Lebanon, in January of 1976, 48 years ago. Palestinian terrorists slaughtered Christians in Lebanon in 1976 before AI and before the internet. Palestinians surrounded the city and began slaughtering Christians. Father Mansour Lebaki, a Christian Maronite priest who survived the massacre, said, quote, "It was an apocalypse. They slaughtered everyone in their path, men, women, and children." They would walk into a bomb shelter, find a mother and a father hiding with a baby. They would tie one leg of the baby to the mother and another leg to the father and pull the parents apart, splitting the child in half. Just like on October 7th, they slit pregnant women's belly open in front of their husbands, pulled the baby out and crushed it in front of the father and the kids. They killed fathers in front of their children and cut off their genitals and put it in their mouth. They raped women and young girls. The last lady that worked for me in Lebanon, I hired her to take care of her. She was mentally disturbed.
I cannot begin to describe to you the depth of the grief, the pain, and the shock that we are feeling here in Jordan. All of us are united in this grief, regardless of our origin.
So take them. Take them, really. Why don't you want to take them? What's the matter? Why don't you want to let your own people into your country? Do you know what Jews have done for 75 years? Let Jewish refugees from other countries come into our country. Because that's what family does. Oh, but what's this? You murdered thousands of Palestinians? Interesting. No judgment.
Jews have been massacred for being Jews by Hamas in this ISIS-like fashion. Treat the people who support that as we would the supporters of ISIS. And if you can't remove their citizenship and expel them from the UK, at least prosecute them and imprison them under the 2006 Terrorism Act for the glorification of terror. Look at what happened outside the Israeli embassy in London the other night. Crowds of hundreds of people. And again, yes, there is a blurry line here because a lot of people hide behind the idea that they're supporters of the Palestinian people when in fact they're just haters of the Jewish people. But look at the people who turned out the other night before Israel had done anything in terms of retaliation against Hamas. Hundreds and hundreds of people, notably young people, who were outside the Israeli embassy, which had to be boarded up, and they were screaming their hatred of Israel. Well, what were they doing? Were they preemptively opposing an Israeli backlash? No, of course not. They were rejoicing in the massacre of Israeli citizens.